Oh, hi you guys, and welcome to the next shot in this smorgasbord of one-shots from wonderful DMs. Our next DM is Alice. Now, guys, today all the donations are going to Racist Texas. Now, I just wanted to give a quick moment to talk about donations and bits and subscriptions and things, to explain exactly how they work, because I think there's probably not so much knowledge around these as there could be. So basically, donations, when you make a donation, the only thing that comes off it is like a 1.9% PayPal thing. That's the direct donation using the donation links below. Now, that 1.9% PayPal thing I can't avoid, and I can't afford to cover if we raise a significant amount of money, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, maybe £6 if it was like 300, but if we get into the heights, if it was to go straight to the charity, they would be able to void that using their their charity status, but I can't. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the charity direct link, so I've got to go sort of like take the money and then pay it all in afterwards. Bits go through Twitch. Twitch takes 50% off the money. Same with subscriptions. 50% off goes to support Twitch. So I'll only get half of those, and also they are only paid out once a month. So not only will I only get half of those, they will also only be in my possession. I think it's on the 15th or the 31st or something like that. I can't remember exactly which day, but that's the lowdown with that. Okay. So the best way to donate today is to use the straight donation link. That is the best way. Just wanted to make that very clear. All the proceeds are going towards the border families who aren't getting enough representation, who are being separated from their families. Because that's, I mean, if that's not a cause worth supporting, what is? Okay, so that's me done my little bit. Every £100 we raise as well will, when we hit the £100 marker, we get another chat viewer decision. Okay, and that's when the real, when the real chaos comes in, when you guys get involved. God damn. So let's go and get the guys. Guys, you are live.
Hello.
Hello. Alice, would you like to go first or last?
I'll go last because I can start on the thing.
Okay, cool. Why don't we go round? I'm not going to let myself go first this time. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up so Alice can go last. So we'll start with Hermley. Welcome.
Hi. I am at Herbley on the Twitters. Great to be here supporting a really good cause. And I want to play some D&D. Playing a monk that's close to my heart today. Hillbilly monk.
Beautiful. Okay. Next up, we have Stavino Lady, or Jess. Yeah. I get so easily confused. I have no memory.
Hi, I'm Stravino Lady, aka Jessica, aka today I'll be playing Raven Bloodbane. She is a 19-year-old tiefling bard who's essentially Evanescence, imagine. So very goth, very like dark, very, I got my whole goth gear on today. We're gonna go dark. Have fun with it.
Beautiful. I can't wait. Alice usually does promise dark things. Look at that little smile on her face. Look at it. Next up, we
look like that. That's not like an evil thing I do.
Yeah. Okay. Next, we welcome Charles, who is also the Chronicle, who is also Fly Bandito. Yes, there we go. I do remember. I do have a memory. Even that one's right in front of me, and I couldn't remember to say it.
I mean, it's hard to forget my name sometimes. I forget it sometimes. It just is how it is. But yeah, Fly Bandito, Charles, Charlie, Chaz, as some people call me, and I'm playing the Chronicle. Oh God, the voice is gonna be painful. If I drop it at some point, just don't be mad at me. I'm playing the old wild magic sorcerer who is obsessed with fire, stories, and saying he's only the age of 36.
Fantastic. With the voice thing, always look after it. If you feel like it's gonna, look after yourself. Health first. Always warm up and look after yourself. Now, for my characters today, guys, I just did do you know what? I fancied playing an orc, and I thought, well, I'm gonna play an orc, and I'm gonna make his intelligence the dump stat. Okay. Now, orcs have a natural -2 to intelligence, and my lowest score was a 5. So I'm starting with 3 intelligence today, which means talking is going to be difficult. So I will not be introducing the orc in his voice because he probably doesn't have the words to communicate that. But he is. You'll quickly learn that he is an orc who respects strength. He respects strength, and he's a cool guy. He's not chaotic evil, potentially, allegedly chaotic evil. Who knows? So Alice, we hand over to you.
I love it when you do characters like this. Yeah. Okay, so I will be your DM for this, and let's get going.
Ooh.
Okay, so you guys you don't have to be all together doing this. You can travel separately. You guys have all been traveling, and you've been traveling for a very long time. You are kind of in the mountains, but you're along the shore as well. The shore is a huge cliff face, and you've most likely traveled from the sea, if not from on land. And you haven't seen a town or a settlement in ages. You've been sleeping rough. And you all see in the middle of this huge clearing what looks like a walled settlement, like a palisade wall, so wooden settlement. It's very, very simple and basic. Surrounding this huge clearing, which from the looks of it is used for farmland and basic resources, is a dense forest. And if you've come from the shore, you will know past the south side of the forest are huge cliffs. So the only other thing is that it's quite cold weather now. You can feel that autumn is setting in, and the air is decidedly colder. How are you guys approaching this village?
First of all, thank you very much to Kiana, who has donated to give you a nat 20 and me a nat 1.
Yay! This is why I love Kiana.
Yes. Kiana lives to torture me, and I live to torture Kiana. It's an ongoing thing. Yeah, but carry on.
Yeah, how do you guys approach this village?
Well, I may say, the Chronicle is speaking to probably the first person he gets off the boat. Probably the guy who's like helping pull the boat to the dock. This cold weather is really starting to make my brittle bones disintegrate, it feels like. It's quite uncomfortable, and I might need to find myself a cloak. Yes. Do you know... does anyone have a cloak? Rather, I don't feel like spending money. Not after a long trip like that.
Raven's there, and she's like, you can use mine. It covers up my outfit.
Quite a little black, but it'll work.
I put all the tears in there myself, so don't mess them up.
Quite. They're ravishing, I think.
The guy who manned the boat sort of looked at you fairly oddly and just seemed quite relieved that Raven answered you rather than he had to. So he immediately just started trying to, once everyone was off, starting to push the boat back out.
The wood elf with a mullet has a small jug of like classic cartoon whiskey with the 3 X's on it, and is just slowly sipping it to stay warm.
So the orc will just be following any train of people that seems to be moving. They
Okay, so from this boat, you do see a couple of people. They do seem to be walking towards the village that you can see up on the hill. It is a very, very small village, and they are just silently walking. Some of them have a few livestock, but I'm really sorry if you can hear the beeping of my dishwasher. It's done now. There we go.
I just figured that was like a medieval cow.
That's exactly what it was.
Medieval cow just backing up.
Yeah.
So even like an inn in this town, it's so tiny.
Well, there better be an inn. I would actually like to find at least some place warm to possibly sleep for the night. My golly, that ship was absolutely terrible.
So as you walk into this village, I'm just very confused by Adam's face right now. As you walk into this village, you notice it is tiny. Like, if anything, it's just a settlement. There is a huge round building in the center, and it has got a sign outside, like a tavern, and it's called the Brew House.
I guess that one will do.
Grog!
If you're lucky, yes.
Quite, grog. Right.
Opie will pass over the jug of whiskey to the very, very obviously intelligent, hulking half orc.
Okay, so as you walk through this village, you notice it's actually quite quiet. It's not buzzing. It doesn't seem to... People don't seem to be happy and jumping about, and like there's no like children laughing or anything like that. This is quite a working village as you approach the tavern.
Everyone's so dour. Nice.
Well, it is getting cold, and when people get cold, well, the warmth of happiness leaves their bodies.
Okay, sure, dude. All right, I'm gonna go in the tavern and see if they are looking for a bard.
Okay. As you enter the tavern, you immediately get a very, it's quite a damp tavern. It's very basic. There's a huge fire in the center. Just tables and chairs that have been thrown. I get they get moved around the room, like they don't all seem to have a place. There's a couple of people just sort of drinking, like hunched over their drink. And a girl spots you, a sort of teenage girl, and she runs over and she's like, "Hello, you're not from around here."
No, I'm a traveling bard. I'm here to do some music. Do you guys need any music?
I guess so. I mean, you're very welcome to play. Would you like a drink?
Yes, I would.
Would you like a drink? And then are the rest of you following in, or she looks at the rest of you. Oh, there's more of you. Drink? Would you like a drink?
Yes, perhaps something warm. Do you have warm tea?
I can heat up the ale.
That'll do.
Pick her up by the shoulders.
Oh,
Grog!
oh, okay. She sort of looks to the rest of you, like, he's rather big. Is he yours?
No, but he's mostly friendly. I think he just wants some drink.
Grog!
Could you put me down, please?
Okay, I'll put you down. As Charlie donates £25, a wild magic surge for Scrat, a wild magic surge for Hermione, and a love for Alice, aka a nat 20.
Yay! I shall write that down.
You now have 3 Alice because the ones from last game carried over. So I should probably clarify. Jess, Jessica, sorry, you got advantage from the last game, which is carried over. I have a nat 1, which was donated this game, and Alice, you have a nat 20 and a nat 1, which carried over from last game, and 2 nat 20s.
I also have sent you the link to
I've
wild magic
already
surge.
got it open.
Okay.
We want to roll a D10,000, guys. So that's /R. I'll type it in.
And so the chaos begins.
There you
But
go.
whilst this is happening, she sort of, as you put down, she sort of shows you to a table, And it is like dead in here. There's nothing happening. It's quite dull apart from the fire that is lighting the room. It's a big circular building. And she comes over with a huge jug and plonks down some big like flasks on your table and starts pouring this sort of murky, very brown ale. And is pouring. She's like, is that? Do you want me to leave the jug? Because I can. Sorry, we don't get people much here.
Oh yeah, just go ahead and leave that right there. That's cool.
Okay. And she puts it down, and you can see she is very nervous, like twiddling her fingers, like watching you to see if you like it.
I just take a giant slug of this, whatever it is, and just look as happy as I can be.
Okay, it's not the greatest tasting thing, so you're really gonna have to. In fact, roll performance for me.
Okay, keep in mind my standards are really low.
Okay, so performance with advantage because your standards are low. Okay, 15. You actually quite like this. You're not too sure. It's a very, very bitter, and there's something crunchy at the bottom that you're not too sure what that is.
Crunchy bits. That's extra. All right.
And she looks pretty happy about it, and at that point shuffles away. There are a wide range of characters in the room that are a bit like, there's a particular old man in the corner that's staring at you from and you notice he shuffles his chair forwards closer to the fire, but still maintains eye contact and like puffs on a pipe.
I will definitely keep looking around at myself to make sure I don't have my pants don't have a very specific rip in them that is in a very bad location, that sort of thing. Just kind of
he continues to watch you. He's like quite grizzled, and he's like he's quite gross at the same time. He sort of keeps but his skin is sagging a lot. He's a very old guy, and he's definitely been beaten by the weather and things like that. And he's just staring at you.
Oh my shit. Okay. Hermley's Wild Magic Surge, 6,738. Target's lungs cease functioning in 2d12 hours.
Okay, so we're going to say that if you roll that for how many hours, we'll call that a really hackly cough. Because otherwise you're dead. So we're not going to go with that. But you have a really hacking cough, and it hurts.
11 hours. That's lots of time. Fine.
It must be the ale.
Yeah. The ale has sort of those gritty bits that you thought were chew that you couldn't quite chew, and they've sort of scratched all the way down the inside of your throat, and you're like it still tastes good to you, but this is quite painful, and you notice it has affected your voice at this point.
And I didn't understand my first one, so I re-rolled. The second one is the next fire set by target puts the scent of mold in the air.
Right. Okay. Bear that in mind.
Thank goodness it's not me.
This old guy, you notice, is now staring at... Sorry, Scrap, what is your character name? Could you put it in thingy for me, please?
Grogbard. Did I not rename? I thought I did.
Grogbard. And he's looking at you, and he's just like, "You're a big fella."
Yeah.
Did you say anything other than that?
I'll flex.
He says grog a lot.
Well, he might last
grog a lot.
He might survive here then. And the young lady one says, "Oh, don't listen to him. It's all fine. You can stay here as long as you want."
Raven pulls out her lute and is playing very minor keys. Randomly.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Survive. I heard something about survive. Now that's not general tavern talk.
That's Turk. It's fine. He's always like that.
Oh, okay.
It's all good. Just do you have a place to stay? Because I wouldn't go traveling out sort of after now, and it's becoming sort of like mid-afternoon. There's not much around here, and I don't suggest you stay outside.
Why? What happens if you stay outside?
Grog.
Just
Other than grog.
there's things in the forest. We don't really know what happens, but sometimes they come into the village, and it's not great to be outside when, it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. You can stay as long as you want.
Can I insight check this fine young lady?
Yeah, of course you can. Okay, you can definitely tell that she is very, very nervous. Maybe the same sort of nervous that some of the people, you felt like a bad vibe walking into the village, more that people were scared than anything else. And she seems incredibly nervous, and you feel that old Turk, who is sat by the fire staring you out for a long time, might have a point here. Are you fighters? Well, I know he is, but I don't think he does anything else from the looks of him.
Well, I am just a wanderer, but I've been known to do a few interesting things with fire in my prime. Granted,
You know how to fight?
I'm not a fighter. I'm a performer. And she uses thaumaturgy real quick to turn all the fire in the room to like a dark red. I'm a performer of the mystic.
And she's like,
musical.
oh. Well,
Grog.
I've never met one of you before. And you, and she gestures to Obi.
But I mean, everybody when you beat the shit out of something, you need like effects and like a soundtrack. So,
But do you fight?
Oh yeah, like
Okay.
like you want to fight now?
No, I don't want to fight at all.
Like an invite. I mean, I'm just saying, we're a bar fights are what they're kind of the thing.
Here you go. You can have my ale if this will prevent you going around and punching somebody.
And he kind of just passes his ale over.
I think you don't know how ale works, because if you drink it, you're more likely to then punch somebody. Like it raises the chances.
Well, yes, but will it sate you for the time being?
Well, we'll find out.
And you hear Turk get up from his chair, and he's just like, just tell them, Ava. They're gonna be here for it anyway. And Ava's like, okay. And she sits down and sort of awkwardly shuffles a chair. So, well, if you're all like warriors or bards, like she sort of gestures to him, which I really like. Our village sometimes gets attacked at night. So it's good to have someone who knows how to use a weapon, and you know how to use one. Sorry?
Attacked by what?
Can you repeat that again? Because my husband is shouting in the kitchen.
Attacked by what?
Well, they're creatures that you'll think I'm mad for saying it, but honestly. And then Turk says, "They'll believe you tonight." Like as he sort of shuffles back to his chair, and he's like, "They're like bears, but they stand up like you and I."
Roar!
Scared the cat. But they stand and they run like you and me. Their heads and their arms are bears, and they've got huge claws, and no one's ever slain one. Well, old Vidar slain one once, but we never found the body. I watched him strike him down, but the body was gone.
Nice.
So you are saying their top half is that of a bear and the bottom half is that of a human?
No, just their heads and their arms. Their skin is like a dark mottled gray.
Ooh, even better.
Oh, it's possible. I've heard of these things before. They're called the Second Amendment. They have the right to bear arms.
This goes right over her head. She's like, so you've heard of it?
Well, no, I'm just full of shit. And ale.
Okay. And
Is there like
Well-
a lot of blood and like it's like gory?
yeah,
Nice.
yeah, okay. So you're used to this sort of thing.
Well, it's cool looking.
Okay. She looks slightly nervous about you now. And she's
could
just like,
tell
sometimes they come when the thundercliffs rage, when a thunder comes in. It echoes around the cliffs and they use that to their advantage.
Yeah, when thunder rolls. Yeah.
Yeah. And she sort of gets up and sort of backs away and starts pouring more drinks for other people.
So you're saying we can stay here tonight?
You can stay right here.
Cool.
But like right here isn't like this chair is not comfortable. I prefer to sleep in a bed.
Oh, we don't have beds. You can stay in the chair.
Wow.
Oh,
all
man.
this gold is for me.
That's like weird.
Thank you,
What if you
thank
had like a bed that people could sleep in? You could make so much money.
Oh, no one comes here.
Well,
It's
no,
it's
if you don't
safer
have
to
bed.
no, it's safer to sleep all together. The village comes in here at night.
Oh,
Like,
that's
the
quite
whole
a.
village comes in here at night to sleep.
Yes.
It's very crowded.
Talia
It's warm.
Darken donates £5 to give a nat 20 to Hermley. Herm.
Okay, so it starts to get dark, and you notice all these people start to pile in with like rugs and mats, and they start to settle down, whether it's close to the fire or just up against the walls. You notice a dwarf walk forward with a huge sword, just like, I'm going out on watch. And he disappears out the front door. And you hear the back door of the tavern is starting to be locked down as the night closes in.
This place is trying to become a fortress, it seems. Well, I, for one, would like to see one of these beasts.
Grog!
And I think Grog
it
wants
would
to
be
punch
pretty
one of
metal.
these beasts.
More!
See?
If that guy wants to stand in front of me, I'll totally go out.
I think we could all stand behind him and still be hidden.
I didn't really describe him too well. So he's like a big, muscly guy. He looks like he could probably punch everything, but dwarfed by his size. On his back, if he turns around, there's a great sword and a great axe, but they're not actually bigger than him like most people. So he has to sort of reach for the handle a little lower down than most.
You know, I like this though. We could go out there and get behind Grogbard. Oh, by the way, Grogbard, I think you've earned a new name, Grogbard Meat Shield. Get behind him, just like shove him forward.
Oh, my.
I could totally write a song about this.
And I could tell a tale.
And I could just drink.
Grog!
Yeah, my man.
Perhaps we should get a drink for the road then, at least for Grog.
Grogbard.
If you all pick up your drinks, are you heading outside, following out the way the dwarf went? Yeah?
Sure.
Okay, you guys step outside, and it is much darker now. It is almost pitch black, and you see the sort of palisade wall, even though it's not very strong, they have closed a wooden gate in front of it. And you can see this dwarf has climbed up what looks like a small watchtower by the gate. And he is looking out through what looks like a spyglass.
Hey, dwarf dude, do you like stay out here all night?
And he looks down and he just puts his finger to his lips and then beckons for you to come up.
I think he wants us to go up there.
But like all quiet, like.
Can we all fit up there? It
Yeah,
is kind of.
It's an outpost, but it joins to the wall as well, so you can probably
Okay.
get up there. So you're the new ones.
Yes, we are.
I
Hi, I'm Raven.
I keep watch here.
Yeah, do you do that like every night?
Yes,
So
it's
you
safer
saw
that
those,
way.
like, bear thingies, the arms and the head.
There's some out there now,
Where?
and he just sort of passes the spyglass to you, and it is
Grog!
pitch black. It is pitch black out there, and in the far distance you can see a long tree line, and you can still hear the waves.
Grog's gonna take the spyglass for anyone else, and he's gonna put it to his eyes
Can
and
you
be
do
like,
a
"Bro!"
sleight of hand, please, if you're going to do that?
I'm not too good at sleight of hand. I can try. Oh.
Okay, you don't quite get it. He sort of looks at you and just hands it to you. As to what you're grabbing it, he's not too sure.
Yeah, snatch.
Does he put it backwards? So he like
Yeah.
Everything goes smaller as
And
he's
he
looking.
literally just reaches out and turns the spyglass round for you.
And when he looks out and everything's big, he's gonna completely freak out. And like he's gonna like do the thing where he's not gonna drop it. Instead, he's gonna close it, and it's gonna snap on his finger, and like
Okay.
flings it in the air.
As you look out, you see little lights appearing along the tree line. And there are these huge hulking shadows. And they seem to be holding torches.
are they walking anywhere in particular? Are they walking?
They are just standing.
They're
It's
standing
as if they're observing you.
Can I use prestidigitation to make a little light kind of appear just like where it would be for a torch for me, even though my hand's lit up?
Yep, you can do that. So a
Just-
little light lights up. And as you do that, more step forward to the tree line.
I think they're calling to your like light thing.
They do like fire.
Oh, they like fire.
Cool.
This
They have-
is an interesting.
They have a fireworm. I've only seen it once.
Wait.
Like
Give me fireworm?
A fireworm.
Worm or worm? Like the things that go under the ground, or like things that resemble dragons?
I've never seen it up close. It's just fire. And it snakes down the hillside.
nice.
It wiped out all our crops last year.
I mean, that does
Less
suck, but it is pretty
nice.
badass.
They did that, but I mean like aesthetically nice is what I meant. Sorry. About that crop thing.
They killed nearly half our village.
Sorry about that part too. Yeah.
They-
It's less nice now.
They take the bodies of the people they kill and the children.
Okay. That's not cool of them to do.
Body snatching, half men, half bears with a fireworm. Hmm.
They're
This is a-
jerks.
Weak.
Hmm.
Weak?
Yeah,
What's weak? The fireworm?
No, he pushes the dwarf. Weak.
Oh.
And he sort of frowns. He's like, I am.
Dude, that's not
Oh.
cool. Don't push him.
Oh,
He's
does he
so
tell?
sad.
Does he tell Grogbard that he's weak? Oh, Grogbard's gonna try and push him off the wall.
Dude, don't do
Let's
that.
do an opposing strength.
Weakness cannot be tolerated.
No.
Like.
Or oppose. In fact, no, I'm going to use a nat 20. I push you back off the other side.
God!
I do like a "this is Sparta" moment. I'm going to kick you off the into the village wall.
Just
He's
look over the edge, like, oh man, you kicked him right off the wall. That was cool.
Yeah, Grog, are you okay?
Grog Bard. Do I take any damage?
1d4. It's not that high.
Grog Bard.
You sort of mainly get up, like have a scratch, and then you can either come back up or stay down there. But he's just like, you should probably get some rest. I don't think they'll be coming tonight.
What nights do you think they'll come?
It's normally when the thundercliffs are raging more.
Do you like
Then we
night
can't hear them coming.
Or like,
They come at night.
Can they
Mostly.
I knew that was happening. Like,
can they like see us? Like,
all right, Newt.
or they have like really good eyes? Eat lots of carrots.
I've
I-
never seen one up close
No, but they-
to tell.
I mean, well, yeah. Then you wouldn't know if they can see us. I'm gonna look out like back toward the fire and do the.
They're sort of too far away. You can't really see what they're doing without the actual like
No, that's
spyglass. But
yeah. I don't think I can see them at all. I just sort of like just as a gesture to the universe. Like
I'm watching you. I know what's happening.
I see you, universe.
you should get some sleep.
All
And he
right,
sits
then.
down on a chair that he's up front with his spyglass and his huge like great sword in hand.
Is there a...
Well, shall we return to the safety of the great round building?
Yeah, I guess. They're not going to do anything tonight. We can totally follow them in the morning, though. Try and find out where they're coming from.
I like that idea.
Okay, so I'm assuming all you guys go to sleep. What's Grog doing?
Grog is satisfied that the dwarf is now strong. That he has pushed him off the wall. That is a great, it's a show of strength. So he's going to climb back up the ladder to the dwarf and challenge him the only way he knows how. He's going to draw a line on the ground.
And he just looks at you and then returns to watching the tree line.
Hey, Grog, you want Grog? At the Grog place? There's more Grog.
And the dwarf looks over and says, I have other problems than fighting you today. Maybe another time.
Grog, Grog.
Vidar.
So, do we all see this? Or, like,
Yes. It's a
gonna,
very open, like...
just making sure. I'm gonna turn back to the other two and be like, "Are they flirting?"
I do believe.
Vidar turns around. We are not. Well, I'm not.
Well, you don't know. Maybe I don't know.
I think Grog has a thing for him. It's the size difference, I think.
Grog's just going to punch the wall.
Oh god, roll a strength. This is all wood.
Oh shit! Now he's flirting with the wall.
As hard as he possibly can.
Okay, hang on. So is this part of the whatchamacallit?
It's
like,
just a
part
show of strength. He doesn't like
Yeah.
the way people are talking about him, so surely strength will silence
As-
them all.
As you do that, you punch straight through this palisade like built watchtower, and your fist emerges the other side. And Vidar stands up and just like, get off my tower now.
Grog. It's cool. We go over there, we get more Grog. Tomorrow, you go to sleep after the Grog. You get to punch a bear person tomorrow. You go to sleep all night. You want
It's
to punch
like
a bear
trying to talk with a little kid at Christmas.
Yeah, I know
Sleep
you
when
want
you
to
wake
punch a
up.
bear
Santa will
person.
bring you something to punch.
And Grog's gonna like point at the line like.
Yeah, he's gonna stay on that line. It's cool. He's not gonna challenge you. You're good.
He will not cross the line, Grog.
He's gonna stay right there.
Weak.
And Vidar
He's
waves you
kicked
off.
you off the thing, so you know he's you're it's cool. Grog, sleep, and then punch.
Sleep.
Yes.
And he'll walk down.
Okay, as you guys go down, you all head back to the tavern and you'll tuck in to sleep, basically. You all sleep pretty well, apart from sort of maybe laying on the odd person here and there. It's a bit uncomfortable. And you wake up the next morning to a shout. And it's definitely Vidar's voice. And he's not really saying any words, he's just yelling.
What is going on? Where's my staff?
He's
God
like
help.
starting to feel around.
Early is it? Oh.
Grog!
I'm gonna immediately like run toward him. I've been up for a few hours because I only have to do that trance thing where I just sit there all like and think about centaur racing and stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna run out the door.
Okay. As you do this, you see him opening one of the gates, and you see smoke is filling the forest on the far side. This isn't right. They don't attack in the day. But I can't see any of them.
They're learning. They're clever. Yeah.
Grog.
And so who's come out now? Who is out? Are you all near Vidar, or
I'm probably the last one out.
there seems to be something in the field that's just left the forest line and running towards you.
Run towards it. Grog!
Behind the meat shield.
Okay, so you guys are running towards it.
And then running, I'm gonna be like, great axe in one hand, great sword in the other. Grog!
Okay, as you do this, you hear Vidar yell. He's like, "Stop!" And as you approach, you realize it's a child. It can be no older than 5 or 6. He is screaming and he is running towards you. He is caked in blood and mud, and he has his hands clumped over his ears. And as you get closer, he falls to his knees.
Raven takes her cloak back from Chronicle and like puts it over her head because it's too bright out. Still early.
Chronicle is like hobbling to keep up.
Yeah, Grog, that is a child. Grog, that is not Vo. That is not Vo.
So Grog has two. Well, actually, no. Grog's thought process consists of 2 questions from me. The first one is: does the child look in any way threatening?
Perception.
Does the 5-year-old look terrifying?
No. If anything, it is so fearful right now.
And then, does it look weak?
If anything, it doesn't seem to have any damage done to it. It is just running at you covered in blood and mud. You interpret this how you will.
I mean, clearly this kid is like the fighting king of the world because covered in blood but no damage.
It's Karate Kid.
Grog's gonna
I mean,
like.
he's got a look and he's going with it.
Yeah,
So
Grog's gonna like put his sword in the ground, pick up the child, who is clearly some sort of arena champion because he's covered in blood and survived the woods, and sit him on his shoulder and pick up the sword again, then carry on running back the way that it came from.
Okay,
and
this
gentlemen,
child is
after
still
what?
screaming, like he's got his hands over his head and his ears, and you enter back through the village.
Oh no, I'm going where it came from to fight whatever.
Oh,
it's
where it
fighting.
came from.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And
and
as it screams, I'm screaming with it, like, yeah, Grog!
it is doing everything it can to try and get off you and run in the opposite direction from the forest.
Grog?
Grog, bring the kid back. It's not your kid.
Well,
Kid. You gotta bring the kid back before you punch things. Like rules or something. Yeah, I know. We'll go punch things in a minute. I need coffee. It's like super early.
Grog's gonna put 2 weapons in one hand and just like pick up the kid again and like walk back, definitely doing the child thing of no, I wanna walk back.
Okay, this child, Vidar runs out and scoops up this child, like pushing the blood off of its face to try and identify who it is. And lots of the other villagers have come rushing out to see what's going on. And he's like, "It's jury spy." Oh, like, and it's like a flood of realization comes across him. This kid is still screaming, and he's just like,
Is Jerry
Are they
like,
all right?
around?
"They live in the forest. They're one of the outposts."
Oh. Does he have like a babysitter? Like an aunt? Or... He's screaming like a lot. And it is
Aver,
so
Aver, come here.
revolting.
And he hands it over to the girl you recognize in the tavern. And she immediately wraps her huge coat like around him and takes him away. And people are following her into this boy just screams. And Vidar looks to all of you. He's like, "I need to go and check the house for survivors."
I was just gonna ask if you knew where it was, because we'll totally go with you. Grog wants to punch something.
Weak! I push him back like to stay in the village. Weak!
I'm coming with you.
Grog, he knows where the place is.
Well,
You know where
weak.
the place is? No,
I don't think that's the right way. You're pointing towards the sky, Grog.
Grog.
not a thing.
Grog.
And Vidar has started walking. He's got his
Yeah,
sword
follow
in
his
hand and he
blood.
starts walking. Quite a fast pace, particularly for a dwarf, as he rushes towards the forest line. So as you guys are traveling, it's probably about half an hour or so, it's not far. You start weaving into this woods. Now this wood is dark, very, very dense. And it's all the trees are quite close together, so you can't see the sky anymore. And you see far to the right is what looks almost like a tree house. There is just a tree with a almost like a wooden spiral staircase that goes down. And he's like, "There. It's Jury's place."
Well then.
Can we do perception check around to see if there's like remnants of people being dragged or...
Yeah, you can do a perception check for what you see in the forest. Okay, so you can see, it's not so much what you see, you can smell something very dead and rank coming from up there. There, you can see from the top of where there's almost like a balcony that goes round, there is a hand that is laying over the side. And you almost think there's something in the forest that moved.
Something in the forest as well as the hand that's up the...
Mhm. Something probably far to your left. It's like out the corner of your eye. You sort of, you know, when you take a double take.
Could I roll a survival to see if I see any like tracks going anywhere?
Yes, yeah, of course you can. Okay, on a 15, you see some footprints that are leading away from this treehouse, and you'll notice these footsteps are huge, and it looks like they've got long claws on the end of where the toes are.
And
This is a very human footprint, but the claws are not human at all.
hey, Vindal, do you know Jerry really well and his family?
Jury. Everyone knew him.
All right,
And-
you should stay right here. I'll go up check.
I can go up there.
No, you don't have to. Dude, it's cool. Just stay. I'll be right back.
And he actually looks quite grateful to you for that.
Grog, come here. Let me see your foot, Grog. Show me your foot. Your foot.
He kind of points towards his foot.
Yeah, Grog points towards his foot too.
All right, step
Right, and he like points to put the foot in the footprint where the claws are.
like this.
And he steps a foot in, and it's like obviously dwarfed in size, probably.
You monster!
I'd like to point out Grog's foot is bigger.
Grog's foot is bigger. Okay.
No, Grog, I am an old man of the age 36. I am not a monster.
Grog picks up the chronicle and looks at Raven.
No monster. No. We're still looking for them. They're not here yet.
Could you put me down?
We're
Put me
fine.
down.
Cool.
Tussle your head with a rough.
Hair just goes everywhere.
Was that really needed? Was that really needed?
Punch arm.
Ugh.
Alright, Raven goes up the steps of the treehouse real quick, just to see what's up there. What's attached,
Okay.
if anything.
Like I said, it's the smell you get first. There are flies everywhere. And as you walk up onto the balcony section, you see blood streaked across the floors. The hand you saw fallen at the top is actually not attached to anything at all. And you can see huge scratch marks across the door. The door is broken off its hinges, but you see these scratch marks. And as you walk in, you can see blood covers the floor. The bed you can see is covered in a red sheet. There are lumps underneath it, which tells you it is probably a body. And as you walk out, this is a very small house. It's like a one-roomed house. And there is a man with no arm, face down. Again, huge scratch marks in his back. And it looks as though he's been eaten more than anything.
Raven lifts up the bed sheet too real quick just to check to see.
You'll see the body of a woman underneath, and she has had her throat ripped out like an animal would, and she is completely stained head to toe in blood. And the fact that there is a sheet over her, you can only imagine the little boy did this.
Is there anything in the house that looks like it would belong to the little boy, like a toy or like
There seems to
belonging
be
of the parents?
there seems to be what looks like maybe a carved wooden horse, which is currently covered, but that seems to be left in the doorway.
All right, Raven's gonna grab that on the way out and go back down and give it to Dwarf and just be like, I'd watch this before you give it to him, but they're both up there. I'm really sorry. That's
Vidar gently takes it and closes his eyes briefly, and you can see it's almost like he's taking a huge swallow and trying to gather himself, and then he quickly puts the carved horse into his pack.
Before he gets it into his pack, can I press it to station it clean?
Yes, you can do that. And he's like, thank you. And it's almost like he's not really with it. He's not looking at any of you as he's talking. Can you all roll me a perception, please? Okay. So, Raven and Grog. Grog, because you are looking for a fight, you can sense something running through the forest. And Raven, you will see a shadow perched on top of the house you have just come out of. This is a huge creature on all fours. It seems to have a human form, but it is on all fours.
Okay, I was planning on trying to start a fire. I think no one's gonna want to go up there. My idea was to start the fire on the house and let it be a pyre for them. And now there's like a thing up there, so like kind of goes with that.
Grogbar! I'm gonna charge.
You're going to charge at this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it sees you because you're not quiet at all, and you see it sort of take almost like a lunging sort of animalistic position, and it roars back at you
Ah!
and charges towards you. Could we all please roll initiative?
Ah!
Come on, guys, you're letting the old man beat you?
It's a real bad initiative.
Hiding at the back using magic.
Okay,
I'm frail.
so I'm going to say that OP, you see Grog charging towards this creature that has turned and started charging back towards it. And you will also see this figure on the roof that, seeing its companion roar, begins to roar as well.
Okay, how far away is the thing that Grog's running at?
It's not far at all. It's like 20 feet.
Okay. I will like point behind me up top at the roaring thing and be like, up there, thing! And then I'm going to run at the thing that's yelling at, screaming back at Grogbard and do my monk thing. And take a swipe with my short sword.
Okay, that is a hit. 9 damage, awesome.
And then as a bonus action, I will punch it in the face.
Yes, and you do. Okay, as you do this, it seems pretty taken aback that someone's just walked up to it and just gone and put it. It's like you feel like you see like a bare muzzle, and you feel your fist graze across the teeth as you strike it, and it seems dazed and staggers back briefly.
Yeah, take that!
It is the Chronicle's turn.
You said up there? Okay.
And he's just gonna like fling his hand, and firebolt is going to be tossed towards it.
Yep, that is a hit.
7 points of fire.
Perfect.
And
This thing starts screaming because it's now on fire.
Very effective.
the Chronicle's actually gonna move towards the nearest tree to kind of be beside it for a little bit of cover.
Well, this thing, as it screams, it's trying to get away from the fire, so it runs off the roof and lands for. Hang on. And it's sort of, it looks hurt, but it's trying to drop and roll, basically, get it out. So, and it is now Grog's turn.
Grog's gonna rush up. I'm in two minds. I mean, I was gonna take Frenzy. Yeah, no, I'm taking Frenzy. So he's gonna run forward with a weapon in both hands, and he's going to hack first with his great axe at the thingamajiggy.
That is a hit, definite hit. Yeah.
Doing a mere 5 damage. I don't
Yeah.
And then with his offhand, but not, he's going to use a bonus action to make a full attack, as he is going into a frenzy.
Yeah.
And he is going to rage with his great sword.
You do. Please describe how you kill this thing.
I just hack the hell out of it, both hands. Not going for cuts or anything, just... Grog!
I do believe Grog is happy.
I just promised if you would punch something.
Okay, it is Raven's turn.
All right, so the only one left is the one that's on top of.
Well, no, it's fallen off of this like house type thing now, and it's literally dropping and rolling. It's not too bothered by you guys.
Oh, okay.
There now.
Is it possible to use prestidigitation to snuff out the fire?
It is.
Okay. I'm gonna snuff out the fire, and then walk over and just like put my foot on his throat.
Mm-hmm.
And just like look as tiefling as I possibly can as I stand over it.
Are you trying to intimidate it?
Yes, I am.
Could you roll an intimidation for me,
Okay.
please? It's not really intimidated. It grabs your ankle and just snarls back at you.
There's not much else I can do. I did my action.
Okay, it is its turn. So as it grabs your leg, it is going to swing you on the floor and try and scratch you. So it misses on its first. And a 19.
That'll hit.
So
Oh, that's not.
can you
correct.
please take 6 damage? It's sort of getting to its feet now. You've been sort of thrown over. You're not prone because you can sort of catch yourself, but it has slashed at you straight across your thigh. And we are back to Opie's turn.
Okay, so what I want to do, I see this thing, like, I see Grogbar go all Blue Man Group with blood with this thing, and like, turn around back to the other one. What I want to do is try to run,
Mm-hmm.
use my bonus action for an unarmed strike, and do a roundhouse kick to the head, and then take it with my short sword.
You go for it.
So let's see if this hits
That definitely hits.
for 4 damage,
Mm-hmm.
and then with the short sword,
That is a nat 1. So you cause it a lot of damage on the first thing, but as you swing your short sword towards it, it catches it in its grasp and holds it there. And you have drawn blood from it, but it just starts laughing.
I start coughing horrendously in its face. Like, actually, just hold up a finger and, yeah, well, whatever, man. I kicked you in the head.
And it's the Chronicle's turn.
I do say, are we trying to keep that thing alive, or am I burning it again?
He's gonna ask you this.
And Scrat, you are muted.
Ah.
Well, I understand,
Raven.
Grog.
Raven's there with her hand on her thigh, just like, ask it where the hell it came from.
You know what? I'm gonna try and roll an intimidation as I kind of just walk forward with like a firebolt just sitting in my hand.
Okay. Okay. It seems more intimidated by the fire rather than you itself, and lets go of Raven and starts backing up a little bit.
I kind of follow it until movement range ends.
Now, you are going to tell me the greatest tale of all tales, and that tale will entail, where can I find your home?
And it just sneers at you and growls.
Growl all you want. Answer the question, or this is going to hurt.
It looks very confused, looking backwards and forth to its already dead companion. And it's sort of snarling at the fire as it rears up.
I'm gonna hold action on the fireball, and if he does go to attack me, I'm just gonna let it go. But until then, I'm not gonna do anything. And that'll count my turn.
Okay. It is Grog's turn. Was that
Grog's gonna just start walking towards the other one.
He's already dead.
The other one.
The alive one.
The alive one.
Oh, the alive one. I see. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's walking towards it, like sort of like dragging his sword and axe. Like he's looking at it like grog, grog, grog. He's gonna attack it.
Okay.
Anyone gonna try and stop him or anything? Do you want to keep him alive? Nope. No. Okay, brilliant. He's gonna hack the shit out of this thing. And he's gonna swing in with his great axe.
That's a hit.
And his greatsword.
Definite hit.
Oh, burn!
Again, how'd you kill this thing?
Same way, pretty much. You're all close to it, right? So he's a bit more careful. He's like, grog, 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 grog.
Okay, yeah, you do that. You go for it. And two of these creatures lay dead. One slightly more singed than the other.
Raven gets up, kind of like holding her thigh, just like, stupid thing. And goes over to like look at the bodies, kind of like pokes her with her foot a little bit, see what kind of creature this is.
Okay, can you roll a perception for me? I'd say, yeah. This looks more man than bear. In fact, it looks that what's being worn on the head is more of a headdress.
She kind of pushes the headdress off with her foot a little bit.
So it seems to be an actual bear's head of something that has already died, and it is being worn. And the same with like the huge claws on the hands. You see they are attached to the hands. They are not coming from the body. And beneath you see a man painted in grey from top of his head all the way down to his toes.
Is Vindel still there?
Vindar is there. And he sort of pushes like through, and he's just like he's almost speechless, and he immediately drops down and starts looking. So this man is wearing like a simple set of trousers and a belt, and he starts rifling through the pockets to find, and he pulls out a small plaque about this big and holds it. They're men. They're not bears.
Indeed, this is indeed a man.
Well, hold on 1 second. I roll the body over
Mm-hmm.
and sort of check at like the base of the back. Okay, there's no tail.
Yeah.
Could have been man, bear, pig.
Yeah.
But it's just man, bear.
And he looks at the plaque and he's like, this is old. This very old. And then you see him sort of scrabble through one of his packs, and he pulls out a book, which it looks like he's been scrawling in and drawing in, and he pulls out, and there's the same symbol here, and it is a picture of a woman. A very simple drawing of a woman surrounded by bears on this plaque. And he's like, This is the old bear clan. I mean, they were thought to be wiped out years ago. I
So
don't
they're just
understand.
normal people, and they did that to that family?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call them normal. They run
They-
around with like bears on their head.
I
Definitely.
think they think they are bears.
No.
They are acting like bears. This is the symbol of their mother.
And
Those
is
are
that,
cool dudes.
The
You
clan
gotta-
died like over 100 years ago now. This isn't supposed to. And they were just normal people. They didn't do this.
where
Grog.
was...
You want to punch a bunch of people wearing bear heads?
Grog's gonna like chop off the head and like put it on his head, the human head. Grog!
Yeah, I think that's a cool idea because these guys are assholes.
And it falls off his head.
Perhaps,
And-
Master Dwarf, could you tell me where this clan bear used to exist?
The settlement was destroyed. There's nothing left of it, but and you can see he's really thinking. He's like, they think they are bears. And then he immediately looks at you, he's like, how'd you hunt a bear?
Fire and bear traps.
Don't.
How
I'm a bard.
Grog!
how'd you, and he sort of looks around and you feel like the nip of like cold in the air, and you're like, how'd you hunt a bear in winter?
Oh,
Grog!
I know this one. They sleep. They sleep during winter in their caves.
And if they
Wow.
think they are bears,
Then
then
they've
there's
got
only one cave I know of around here.
Hmm.
Grog!
So to the cave we go.
I don't know how many there'll be. Are you willing? And you can see he looks quite driven now. Like he looks up at the house and looks back, and he's like, "Because I am."
Grog. Grog suddenly looks very tired. His rage is worn off. Grog.
Raven totally is just like, yeah, these guys, they gotta go. This isn't cool. You don't mess with kids. You don't mess with their parents.
Grog
We're
sits
doing
down.
this.
Right. Now, we need to find tracks. Anything.
Well, I had found a few tracks.
And he kind of points to where he found them earlier.
I hadn't gotten to follow them, but they seem to go that way.
Perfect. And he just takes off in that direction.
Oh.
Come on, Grog. You gonna let an
Grog.
old man outrun you?
Tired.
Tired? Kind of sounds like you're saying you're weak.
Grog!
That's right.
Grog gets up and chases after the dwarf.
Okay, so you guys walk for about an hour and you're getting further and further through the forest, and you see a huge wall of stone, which looks like it's part of maybe the cliffside or mountainside. It all sort of melds into one. And you see a waterfall, which is raging. It is heavy and it is loud. And so Vidar walks up and he's just like, behind there. That's the only cave I know of.
Right.
And he draws his sword and starts walking towards the waterfall. And you see him disappear behind the water.
Hmm.
Grog, man.
Tally-ho, I guess.
If it follows the dwarf.
There we go.
Okay, so as you enter, you notice this place is dark. This is almost completely pitch black. The walls are wet and there are ferns growing from the ground. And it is fairly quiet in here.
Can I attempt to sort of like shift back into the shadows a little bit and not be seen?
Yes, if you roll a stealth for me, please. Yeah, you disappear. Effectively, there's you're sort of more using the darkness than anything else. There's nothing really to hide behind massively, but you can sort of almost blend into the wall.
I seem to not be able to see in front of my face. Should I light a torch?
Raven's got dark vision. She's just like, what are you talking about? It's fine in here.
I see nothing but blackness. Have I died? Is this rapture?
From the shadows, you hear, "Yeah, no, totally light a torch. Then they'll look at you and not me."
And this way, he's just gonna press the digitation, a small light right next to him again.
Grog tries to blow it out.
You see Vidar up ahead just walking. He's like a man on a mission right now.
Raven tells him to put out your light and like kind of like sneaks her
I
tail
can't
up
see.
and use it as like, you know, when you have kids on like daycare, they've got the rope.
Safety harness.
Well,
I'm being safety harnessed through.
All around you can hear water. You can hear it dripping off the ceiling and off the walls, and there seems to be like I said, a fern or a moss that is thriving on this water. And you walk down this tunnel. Can you make me a dexterity save to avoid slipping, please? Yep, Raven definitely makes it.
I'm glad you said save and not ability check.
Wow, all this gold is for me? Thank you, you guys.
Thank you
Okay.
for the donation. Charlie bit my finger to make things worse.
Okay. I can do that. Okay, so sorry, Scrat, can you roll yours, please? There we go. Okay, so as the Chronicle can't see where he's going, he slips and falls. So what order are you in? Where are you in this party, Chronicle?
I think I'm near the end because Raven is guiding me either by rope or by like a
Okay,
little like
then-
something.
I
By
need
tail.
Raven to make another
tail up.
dexterity save because the Chronicle will almost take out your feet doing this as he falls
Oh, no.
down to the ground. Okay, you just about manage. You like put your hands either side of the wall and sort of stabilize as he sort of almost like slips right between your legs, and almost takes you out. And as this happens, the sound echoes around this tunnel, and you just hear like a growl, and
I
it's
see you.
coming from in front of you.
I seem to have fallen, and I might have almost dislocated my hip.
Chronicle can't see this, but Raven is totally glaring at him right now.
Are my friends around, or am I hearing something I wish I'm not hearing right now?
Well, the growling was like right next to me, wasn't it? Or pretty
Not right
close to
next
me.
to you, it was in front, like further down the tunnel.
Ow.
Raven steps back a little bit carefully, like watching her step, and like grabs his hand and tries to help pull him back up.
Okay, I'll say you managed to do that. You walk a bit further, and it's more that you can just hear this like growl but heavy breathing. And the further you walk, you don't seem to meet anything, and then you realize it seems to be coming from the walls. And you see a small light up ahead where it looks like maybe this very small tunnel comes to an end, and you see water dripping off of the mouth of this small tunnel.
Is Vindar still in front of us? He gone down the-
Vindai is, yes. He sort of stopped at the open mouth of this tunnel. And it's like he's peering out.
Do you see anything?
And he turns and looks at you and put a finger to his lips and then points as if he's pointing down. As you guys walk further through, you see a long rope bridge in front of you and a sheer drop. Now above you, you just see rock and it goes all the way up. However, it also goes all the way down. And beneath you, you see hundreds of these bear-like creatures. They are dragging bodies of people or animals. They are stripping them for meat. Some of them are just eating, and some of them seem to be making weapons. And you can hear them sort of scuffling about. They don't appear to have seen you.
That's a lot more than I think we can take.
And Vidal looks at you like, like, yes.
I
And
was expecting a smaller clan.
and he sort of puts his fingers to his lips again and takes a step out onto the rope bridge as it wobbles slightly. He freezes every now and then, every time it creaks just slightly too much. But he keeps on going. They don't seem to be getting the attention. And you can see him get to the other side before turning back, going,
Is this room like lit enough that I could sort of see what's going on?
yes, there are now like
Okay.
torches. They've listed that's how you see all that. So this is a lot
Okay.
more. There's a lot more light in this section. It seems to be
Okay,
lit
good.
by torches now.
I'm not going in blind.
Yeah, no, just off the edge.
All right. Raven kind of like moves back a little bit to signal Ophi and the Chronicle to go forward, kind of like try to keep Grog from seeing what's down there yet.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, Grog, we're gonna just stand here real quick. We're gonna let those guys go. You can't. It's fine. It's fine. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Go,
You're
guys,
muted, Grog.
go.
Can Grog just sort of like pick Raven up,
If you want, you can pick Raven up.
look around her?
What, like, okay, so you're looking down.
Ah.
You see hundreds and hundreds of these bear people below.
Grog.
That's the look of pure joy.
Guys,
And
go,
as I described to the others, they are carrying bodies of people and animals. They're stripping them for meat. They're making tools. They are eating. But there are hundreds of these.
Grog's gonna turn uncomfortably close to Raven's face, like leave one hand holding her, and the other one just goes to his lips, and he goes.
Vidar is the other side of this rope bridge, still like,
I'm gonna head across.
okay. Can you make a stealth roll for me, please, to try and not let this creak? Okay. And can I have another one, please? You get halfway without a creak. Okay. You stealth like a ninja over this. You have exactly watched Vidar's footsteps, and you followed it. Who is going next? I suppose I was going to say, is the Chronicle going? You're sort of in that.
Yeah, I think I'm next up. Here goes nothing.
Okay. Yep,
Excuse
you
me.
get across, and one more. You're at the halfway point.
I will go ahead and spin Tides of Chaos to get advantage on this roll.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As you step, a plank of wood in this snaps, and it falls. You're fine. You're still on the bridge, and this plank of wood snaps and spirals downwards, landing in a pool underneath. And you see all, not all of them because they're all very busy, but about 50 faces just look up.
Oh, I seem to have misplaced it.
And he's just gonna rush across the bridge.
Just run.
Just
Okay.
run for it at this point.
Can Grog and Raven roll me a stealth, please, so that they just don't spot you?
Yes.
Grog, tiptoeing. Grog, Grog.
Okay, you both, they suddenly seem very aware that there's something. Now, you're quite high up. They haven't necessarily identified what you are yet, but they are now like looking at, like slapping each other, like growling as they point upwards.
Where is this? Let's just check this time.
You see some of them start to stand.
What's the what's the terrain like getting down to them? Is it a stark?
It is a
cliff
sheer drop. This looks like you wouldn't go down this way.
in a distance.
This is like 100 foot down.
First of all, damn,
Alright.
they've got good dark eyes. Okay. I will.
They dwell in the dark.
It's a shame it's not a slope because I'd be there. I guess I'll start sneaking faster, like grog, 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 grog.
Is Raven following onto this
Yes.
bridge?
Raven
Okay.
is going.
Now, thank you for the donation for a bad thing to happen. You hear the rope snap on this rope bridge. I need you all to make a dexterity save for me as this thing jutters one side and completely collapses one side.
Am I off the bridge or do I need to make a dex save?
You're off the bridge. It's just Raven and Grog right now. Okay. You both, as this falls, I'm assuming you all fall flat to the thing to hold on. And you see the other side of the rope, like, undoing almost. And obviously you guys see this too, as this other side of the rope slowly starts to snap.
Climb, Grog.
I have a rope in my explorer's pack.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try and like tie at least part of the bridge that seems like still sturdy to the stake it was holding in to kind of just like at least have one rope holding the bridge still?
Yes, I think you could, or you could probably just tie it from the way it's breaking. You could probably tie it to a rock or something near you.
Just try to keep like one side of the bridge up for now so they can get across.
Yeah. So this at the moment though, the bridge is tipping that way, so they can't walk across this.
Yeah, they're having to climb.
Yeah, and you can slowly see this rope snapping, even though the Chronicle is tying the other side and trying to reinforce it. You can still see it. What do you guys do?
Grog's gonna try and grab Raven.
Okay.
Oh dear.
And put
Is
her...
Raven going to let go of the bridge for this to be grabbed?
I hope so. If she doesn't, Grog's gonna shake.
Yeah, Raven's not gonna fight the giant.
Yeah.
Just sit on his shoulder and then start climbing.
You're at the moment, you're laying down like to the side.
Raven has her tail like around his waist.
Okay. Okay, can you roll a strength to hold on to Raven, please, Grog?
Now, is that a strength saving throw or an athletics check? And I ask.
I'd say
because-
athletics.
Yeah. Okay, I thought so. I've got one level of exhaustion, so this will be at disadvantage.
Oh.
No. No.
Okay.
Sometimes the dice just don't want you to do things.
As this happens, part of this rope, as Chronicle was it snaps,
Oh,
and the
no.
whole thing falls and swings. So, but where Chronicle has tied it one side, it's still attached to the side that the rest of you are on, and it's like Indiana Jones style. It swings down and slams you against this, and Grog lets go of this bridge. Can you make another strength save to try and catch it for me, please?
Yeah, I guess it's as he yawns, he sort of like leans back.
A strength save, though, please.
A save, okay. That's a 10.
Okay. I'd say you reach out and grab, and you go through a couple of the planks, and you hold on to one of the lowest down ones. And Raven, could you please make a choice of yours, depending on how it be, athletics or acrobatics, just to hold on because you're using your tail as well.
Go with acrobatics.
I thought you might.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, you manage to hold on to Grog with your tail, your arms, your legs. You sort of koala'd around him as he lands at the last minute. And yeah, now what? You are swinging above hundreds and hundreds of these things.
I'm assuming they really see us now.
They really see you now. They see that there's, again, it's still quite dark, so they can't pick out exactly what you are.
How
To be
long?
fair- Oh, sorry.
How long was the bridge? And I ask because I wonder how far
You
the
cannot
drop.
drop.
Okay.
You cannot drop to the bottom. You would die if you did, but you can. Like,
Can I just land on someone? No. Okay, I'll start climbing.
I'm gonna toss my bit of rope, one
Mhm.
end down toward them, just so there's also while there's the rope bridge is being sort of patched up there, there's also another rope that just in case there's a backup plan. And I'm gonna brace myself backwards just in case some very large hulking person holding another person decides to grab onto it.
Vidar also sees this as what's happening, and he comes and holds onto the rope with you. Grog, can you make me an athletics check, please, as you try and climb up this bridge?
That is an 8.
Okay, you feel quite rejuvenated. You literally just start climbing up this bridge with Raven, who I'm assuming is absolutely mortified at what is happening right now, and you get to the top and haul yourself up. And Vidar like gives you like a hearty slap on the back, almost like a well done.
Grog.
Well,
Good.
I
Good job, Grog. Good job, Grog. I'm gonna lay here for a minute.
Grog will poke her bleeding leg. Poke.
Okay. Vidar sort of looks forward and goes, down here. And you see another tunnel. And he disappears into it. Now, this one is much lower, so it's more sort of a hands on knees. I mean, he can walk through it, but maybe for some of you, you might have to get in your hands on knees and go through. As you are crawling, you notice Vidar get down on his hands and knees as well. And you see that you are now starting to crawl through, looks like a man-made like channel, big square channel. And no more than maybe this is stopping you from being seen by some of these creatures sat alongside as this tunnel opens up into a cave. And they seem to be eating or doing, like making things and whatever, and you can hear them like scuffling about. And if one of them gets too close to the other, they swipe and they growl at each other. And you feel the ground beneath you is quite odd. It's a bit dark again, but you feel it's quite odd and disjointed.
Can I smell the ground?
You can.
What role would you like?
Perception, please. Okay. On a 6, it'll be quite easy because you've smelt this before today. It smells like death.
Yep, that's what I figured.
The Chronicle kind of just pulls his, like, he kind of wears just a robe, kind of pulls his robe to kind of just cover his nose and just gonna keep crawling.
Can you all roll me stealth, please, as you try and shimmy, basically, through this? Opie's having another bit he's going through.
Although, to be fair, I do cough every so often. Thanks to somebody.
Thanks to that ale.
Okay. You all get through fairly well. Grog makes a little bit more noise as you hear him shifting through the many bones that are on the floor that you are crawling over. And you can hear a slight squelch here and there. And every now and then, one of these creatures turns their head in the direction of Grog, sniffs, and then you notice one of them gets up and walks across all fours and leans its head, its huge head, over this like trench type thing and sniffs. Grog, could you make me another stealth check, please?
Wow, all this gold is for me? Thank you, you guys.
Yes, I can, but first I'm going to need to make a wild magic surge.
Oh.
Thanks to Light Thingery.
The best time to get a wild magic surge.
I didn't put a space in. Okay. 1719.
I found that sounds like a bad number for stealth.
The lower it is, the worse it tends to be. I scored like a 98 once, and it was not good.
I think all of my allies are doppelgangers.
Okay.
Well, thankfully, Grog's not smart enough to know what that is.
Right? Pretty much.
Yeah. Maybe you think like you're not sure if it's really them. But could I have that stealth roll, please?
Grog. That's a 4.
Oh, you're rolling at disadvantage, aren't you?
I am.
As you do this, this huge bear head looks down at you. And more in shock than anything, because it did not expect to see an orc. Are you just reaching it up and pulling it under?
Yeah, can I just like put it down, hold it, like,
Okay, I need you to do an athletics, I'd say, and then another stealth if you want to do this quietly.
What could go wrong?
Can I use thaumaturgy to create a noise on the opposite end of the cave to give him?
Okay, so we'll do that. His stealth
Advantage.
is with advantage for that. So what noise are you making across the side of the cave?
I am making a raven.
As you do that, all these other ones perk up and they look over to the side and don't see how badly Grog is trying to grapple
Wow,
this
this
thing that is looking over. Like, you're both fighting each other. It's more like a slap fight than anything, as it's trying to get off and you're trying to put it. You do this incredibly quietly though.
only
Because
managing to
of-
hold its mouth like.
Yeah, you're holding its mouth, but it's really fighting. Could you roll me another athletics, please?
I can, but the Chronicle also needs to roll a wild magic surge. Thank you to Ears River.
Okay.
I think that's enough numbers.
Oh Jesus.
Okay. Could I have another athletics, please, as well, Grog?
Athletics.
No, athletics.
No,
I-
it's a 24.
Oh, it's a 24. Okay, so you pull this guy, as you have grabbed him by the face to keep him silent, you effectively crush his face and he goes limp, and you just slowly drag him into the trench with you.
As we're doing this, the Chronicle's boots grow to triple their size.
Not my feet, just my boots.
Just your boots.
Okay, so these. What are you again? You're an elf. Oh, what are you?
No, I'm a human. I'm just
Yeah, that was
old man human.
Okay, so you now have massive
choose.
boots. Can you roll another stealth, please? As for some reason, your boots start growing. Is it okay? As this happens, another creature. The rest are being distracted by this raven sound that's coming across. However, one of them stands up and walks towards the trench, suddenly noticing also one of its other people have gone, and starts sniffing around the trench.
I feel like the Chronicle can't really move because his boots are so big.
They will
They're probably
do
like size
sound
30.
as it happens.
They're like 33s. His feet probably just slip out of them if he's trying to pull, but he can't really pull. He's like.
Also,
He's like trying to-
I'd like to point out no one can get past your boots right now because of where you are. You're all in this trench, this much, and this bear is coming over. It's looking up and down the trench, so it is going past all of you, just sniffing.
I do have a dagger. Am I able to cut my feet out of the boots?
You can. You will have to make another stealth roll, though. Let's try and be silent whilst doing this.
It's a 10.
A 10. Okay, I'd say you do this fairly well. At this point, it's at the other end of the trench, maybe where sort of Raven and Grog are, as it sort of sniffs over there as you start soaring through your boots, and you manage to get your feet free.
It kind of, once he gets his feet free, you can kind of feel like the grossness and the bones.
It will go
probably-
between your toes, like you can feel like
Yeah,
this
it's just
squidgy sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, I will have to omit this from my tale.
And he kind of like does the best kind of shivving he can. He's going to try and kick the boots down into like the bone and like the flesh, so it kind of just like clears the path, and it just like stays there.
Okay.
It's like trying to bury them down.
Okay, so I need you all to make one more stealth check for me because this thing is looking. Okay, so OP and the Chronicle are fine. So
Grog, tired of stealth.
And you still make it. So
13.
yeah, you all manage to. It's this creature seems to be nothing else seems to happen, so it's disinterested and moves off onto where this raven call was, and you all shimmy through.
Can I go and chase it?
If you want, there's like 6 up there.
Arr!
7 up. Are the guys trying to stop you, or like, are you trying to muffle him and just all jump on him?
Yes.
Okay, can you all roll me strength and all roll a stealth? And Grog, I need you to do a strength to oppose everything
Are
they
we
do.
all rolling strength or all rolling athletics?
You're all rolling, I'd say, a strength save.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my advantage that I've been sitting on this whole time.
Okay, so can you guys also not Grog, the other, stealth, please. Oh dear.
Oof.
Okay, so you guys all managed to grab Grog, but you do not do it quietly. So you see about 4 of these things perk up and look directly at you. And you see them start to bare their teeth and snarl.
I will look at them and be like,
Are you doing this like as a persuasion? Are you trying to convince them of this?
sure.
Okay. You roll a persuasion for me, please.
Roll a persuasion?
Persuade the bears.
I got a nat 20 in the bank. I'm going to
Are you
use
gonna nat 20? Okay, you nat 20 this. And basically some of the shadow of Grog behind you casts almost like a huge bear type shape over your head. Like just behind you, and it's quite dark anyway, and they think you're another one of them, and they will just sort of turn back to what they're doing. As you guys leave this, you keep walking down a pathway in this cave. You feel like you're walking for quite a while, and you notice you're getting deeper and deeper into this sheer rock, and you can see like an arched entrance, which is covered by torn bits of material. And what you think you can hear is almost like the clanking of wooden wind chimes.
Can we see where these wind chimes are?
It seems to be coming from the other side of
Okay.
this material that is almost floating.
Grog just points at the chronicle. Grog.
I'm not Grog, you're Grog.
Grog. Grog.
Grog. Oh,
Do you hear the music?
Grog.
Okay.
Could I do like an Arcana check just to see if like I notice anything like arcane kind of just in the
Yeah.
air? My rolls today. Payback.
Okay, you can't really sense anything. It's just pretty dark down here. But you can like I said, you can definitely hear things behind the material. That it's almost like it's been sectioned off to show as if it's like a separate room.
I think the chronicle's just gonna move over and just kind of like.
Are you doing this stealthily?
I mean, I'll roll for it.
Yeah.
8 stealth.
Okay. You don't necessarily do this super stealthily. As you do this, as you poke your head through, you knock some wind chimes as you do this. And sat at the far, so you're looking into this, what looks like another hollowed out cave room. You can see another passageway behind it. Sat in the center is a woman with long black dreadlocked hair and a bare head over her own head and shoulders. And she is sat there with a bowl. She is painted like what looks like claw marks across her face, painted black and grey. And she holds a small shallow bowl with what looks like a black liquid in it. And she has a long bare claw attached to one finger. And she's scratching at this making that horrible sort of blackboard sound, scratching at this black liquid. And she looks up at you.
Is this the men's room?
What do you want?
Well, I found myself in this cave. I've lost my boots, and why are you like trying to scratch at a bowl? Could you just drink it?
You see she sort of gets up a little bit and she sort of bends her body in a sort of slightly unhuman way and stands and then like reaches through and reaches out to you, and she's staying on like almost like on all fours, and with the hand with the claw attached in this black dripping liquid, she just sort of beckons to you. And Vidar, before you do, he goes, "Is this the mother?" Careful.
He kind of just like backs off for a second.
One moment. Should I go in? I'm quite curious.
What do you mean by mother? There's like a lot of people here. She's not like literal.
And Vidar reaches into the plaque to show you the plaque with the image. Her.
Oh, yes, indeed. Her.
Grog's gonna pull a hand axe from his belt and just be like, Grog.
Be ready to. Just be ready to kill her.
If we kill her, do like the other ones just...
Well,
Wow. All
wish
these
me-
gold for me?
Then someone's got to become the mother.
Guys?
I look at Grog.
Well, if we kill their leader, surely they've got no direction.
Charlie donates £5 to make things worse.
Charlie!
Thank you, Charlie.
Whilst you're making this decision, he starts walking closer to the Chronicle.
I'm going in. Whatever you decide to do it fast.
And at this point, the Chronicle kind of just like slips fully in. He's just wearing a almost like a white robe, but at this point, it's probably stained with like gore and blood from the from the crawl and the sewer, essentially.
She sort of tips her head at you and stands upright and smiles
How
and
far away?
starts circling you.
So, slight mistake. It wasn't Charlie. It's Charlie bit my other finger.
I have
Let's
one
change-
finger that's been bitten, and I've been
Blame
other finger
Charlie
been
anyway.
Okay.
So how far
Um,
away is Cult Mommy from the Chronicle?
Not too far. Like she's about this far away from him, just circling him,
like right there.
proper close.
Well, I'm not tactful, so I kind of want to like being stealthy as I have kind of been, kind of come up like opposite side of the Chronicle from her, and then like poke my head out and go hiya and punch her in the face.
Okay, you do that. Can you roll for that, please? You do not hit, and she is going to react to you doing that with a 17. What's your armor class? Sorry.
My armor class is a 15.
Okay, 17. And she swipes at you with this long claw and catches you just across the cheek, giving you 4 damage. However, you can feel a burning sensation as this black liquid drips into your cheek. And it's like you can feel it enter your bloodstream. You can feel it as it burns, as it creeps down your neck. And she hisses and like immediately backs up against the wall. And thank you for another bad thing. There is an old sort of bell that she just starts wailing on and starts ringing. And you hear
Throw!
like
Grog
an
throw! Grog
almighty
throw!
roar. Okay, shall we enter initiative, please?
Grog throw! I do still have a nat 1, and so do you. So can I make you use your nat 1 here? Would everyone be in agreement with that? Would that be cool?
What, me?
Yeah, you can use your nat 1 for initiative, please. That'd be great.
Okay.
Make worse saying a little better.
I don't think you're allowed to do that, but okay. OP.
Viva la revolution!
Viva la France.
Okay. So it is
Oh, all this gold is for
it's
me.
OP's turn first again.
Thank you.
Oh no, hang
Alright.
on. Did you use your nat 20? Sorry, Grog.
No, hold on though, because Lightfinger donates another 5 to make it even more worse.
Yay. This is why I like Lightfinger. He always does this when I'm DMing. Okay, so it is OP's turn first.
Okay, well, gonna try the same thing I did with the last man bear pig, and roundhouse kick followed by ha.
That does hit.
And
Okay.
then short sword.
Yep, hits. Perfect. Okay.
And then I'm gonna use a key point
Mhm.
to do flurry of blows. 2 more attacks.
That does not hit. Okay, on the last one, you swing for her and you trip over some of the pots and bowls that she's obviously been using, and you fall flat on your face.
Then I just like have a small coughing fit.
Yeah.
Oh man, whoa, this smoky in here.
How long
is-
has it been since that wild magic surge?
Oh,
It's been over 11 hours.
I've
Yeah.
been coughing and
Oh.
you know.
It is Raven's turn.
Okay. Is this an action? Okay, so I'm going to start just like cursing at evil mother lady
Mhm.
by using Bane.
Okay.
So this is gonna be level 1. So she has to make a charisma saving throw.
Okay. Got an 11. What was the saving throw? Sorry, I can't see it on there.
She got an 11, so I got a spell save of 13. So
Oh, okay.
so she's got to roll a d4 and subtract that number from any attack roll or saving throw going forward.
A 1. Yay.
And then I'm also going to throw an inspiration over at Grogbard and be like, Grogbard, the time is now. Bring it on.
Grogbard!
So you get a d6 that you can use at any point.
Grogbard!
And it is Grog's turn.
So, am I going to be able to run to her before she gets to the bell, or do I just need to start throwing axes at
No,
her?
the bell has been rung.
I'll run up then. I'll get angry because I wanted to stop the bell from ringing. And I'm going to hit her with my great axe. Oh, Grogbard!
Okay. You nat 1 that. I'm afraid she sort of quickly dodges out of your way as you slam the great axe into the floor. And it gets stuck.
Drop it. Oh my, are you serious? Oh my, wow.
As you swing again towards her, she ducks and it gets stuck in the wall. It is the Chronicle's turn.
Does anything seem relatively flammable in this room? Any pots of black
Maybe
powder?
just the like the drapes you came in through, they seem pretty flammable. Otherwise everything else tends to be rocks and clay and things like that. So
Okay. I will go ahead and use a chromatic orb of fire towards her.
that does not hit,
Nope.
I'm afraid.
Nope.
Okay, it is my turn, so that means Vidar and her. So Vidar is going to run forwards and completely miss. And she is going to hit with a 15. 7 damage, and as she does this, she swipes at Vidar, And as he's holding up his sword to bring down on her, she slashes him across his throat with this nail. Again, not enough to kill or anything like that, but you see a black ooze run from his neck down, and he buckles over, holding his neck, just like like, and it's burning, like, and he's seems to be losing a lot of control. And it's Opie's turn, and as you do this, you can hear the roar of hundreds and hundreds of voices.
Grog?
Well, lady, I don't like you. And I'm gonna stand up and hit her with the short sword, or attempt to. A dirty 20.
Yes, you do, and that is awesome. Okay.
And then unarmed strike. Try to kick her in the gut.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
You completely miss. She dodges out of the way, and it's like you try to kick, and then you lose balance, and you keep going, and you trip over Grog's axe that is in the ground and fall over.
I'm gonna expend another key point and try to do a flurry of blows, like just sort of like from the ground, just like try to kick at her
madly. Okay. That does not hit, I'm afraid. You are flailing madly in the direction. So as you've done this as you've fallen over the axe, and you are just flailing your limbs.
Come on over here. Just like run into my foot, please.
She has really hunched back over now. You can see she's got blood dripping from her forehead where she's been struck already. And it's almost like she's doing a very unhuman sound, like a hissing sound that is coming out of it. And she's backing up against the wall.
You're weird, lady. You're weird.
And she just throws a pot at you. It completely misses, but it smashes like right next to your head. We're going to skip to Chronicle because Grog is not here.
Where did these noises seem to come? Like from behind us?
Behind you, the way you came.
How close?
I'd say they're about... The only way I can discuss it is make like a 5-minute run.
5-minute run. Okay. I don't have thaumaturge, which makes me kind of sad, but it is a cave. And using what was said before about them having a fire drake, I'm just going to turn and like stick my head out of the little tent we're in, essentially, and just start screaming down in Draconic, down in the cave towards like where I hear this growling in, and it's gonna sound threatening.
Okay.
In a way.
Yeah, roll like an intimidation for me, please. Okay, so you do hear like footsteps slow down, but you also hear a lot of more confused noises than anything.
Well, I've confused them for the time being.
Like they've never heard this sound before.
I'll have to keep that in mind. I might have bought us like 10 more seconds.
And at this point, he's just gonna turn. And do I still have an action to use?
Yes, you do.
I'm just gonna throw a firebolt at her.
Yeah, go for it.
God.
That does not hit, I'm afraid. My God, guys. Grog, we had to skip over your turn, so do you want to go now? You are muted.
Yeah. Grog's sort of scratching his head and looking at his axe and sword, like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, and Opie is now laying over your axe because he fell over it. Just as a heads up.
And she's still up?
She is still up. She's sort of backing away. She looks more scared than anything else. She looks quite badly damaged.
Awesome. If I pick up Opie, would I have to use him as an improvised weapon or a great club?
I'd say a great club.
Awesome. I'll do that then. I'll just pick him. I'll pick him up, and still enraged, I will swing my rudimentary great club at her.
Yeah. Okay. You do exactly that. So Opie, take 1d6 of damage, please, as you crash into this this mother of the cult. You are slammed into the wall, as is she, and she sort of crumples for a minute and just drops down straight on the floor. unmoving. OP, how are you feeling right now? You've just been used as a club.
I mean, yeah, I was used as a club. That's on the bad side, but on the good side, I was just used as a club. So I mean, I'm hurting, but not bad, and I was used as a club.
Okay, so you're sort of like, how are you like getting up from this? You've just been slammed into a wall.
I'm just
Dazed, like. Okay, she is down and she is unmoving. There is a pool of blood that is starting to seep in the dirt, and Vidar, you can see, has collapsed a little bit.
Are we out of combat?
You are out of combat.
Brilliant. I'll attack her again.
Attack her again. Yeah, you go for it.
Just to make sure that she is
She's
dead.
dead. Like that's she doesn't have an
Now-
armor
now
class
pulp.
anymore. So, are you what are you doing? You just like stamping on her?
No,
Attacking?
no, no. I'm taking OP and hitting her again. Like,
Okay,
repeatedly.
OP, please take another 1d6 damage.
This seems to work better than my sword or great axe.
Okay.
okay, man. Hey, whoa. First time, second time, not so much. Put me down, man. Put me down.
Grog, strong, Grog. Then start pulling the axe and sword out the wall.
Okay, you do this, and you now hear these footsteps, charging footsteps, really close behind you. You can still see the what you can assume is the exit behind you.
And the
So-
footsteps are coming from where we came from,
They're coming from where you came from.
and the exit is a different way.
Yeah, it's behind from where Crazy Woman was sitting.
Okay. We should probably get out of here, guys.
Yes, we should. I'm gonna
How's-
grab her bare head.
How's Vindar looking? He got scratched, right?
Yeah. So what you've got is like it's just a burning sensation, and what the rest of you'll know, see all the veins in his face has started to turn black, and then you see Vidar seems to where it's got him in there. He's buckled over. He is struggling to stand.
All right, I'm gonna do some healing word real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Sing a little inspiring song like "Bring them to life, wake them up inside."
Perfect.
So you guys get 1d4 plus 5.
Okay, I have lost my d4. Oh, there it is. 4, so 9. Vidar still looks ill, but he stands up, and he's like, "I think it's time we got out of here."
Definitely.
So OP
Okay.
took her bare head, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna take her and throw her down the passage from the way we came.
Okay, you do this. As you do, you hear an almighty roar as these creatures are closing in behind you. You can hear the shadows. What are you doing?
What kind of roar? Like a wailing? Like, oh no, woe is
No,
us roar?
like an angry roar.
Like you raging roar.
Like there are hundreds of them. There are hundreds of them.
But there's a thin tunnel, and Grog's gonna go and stand in that tunnel.
this is a wider tunnel than normal.
Oh.
This is not
But-
super thin.
But this tent is essentially the only way in and out, right? That we can tell.
No. There was another passageway behind where she was at.
And this passageway is that narrow.
No, this is more open. This is like an actual passageway.
Did we keep Chronicle's boots?
No, he abandoned the boots.
Like stuff them down to
Yeah,
the
he
dead bodies.
abandoned the boots.
Yeah, I'm running around barefoot with like little bits of blood and gore between my toes. It's quite gross.
I think Grog's still going to stick around somewhere. He's going to try and find a tactical advantage point, but he's not too smart, so he's just going to be like, rock here.
Okay,
no.
so what are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna try to convince Grogbard that the tactical. You want to use your tactics. You gotta follow us, and then when we find the right spot, we'll let you know, and we'll position you for maximum destruction.
Roll a
Rock.
persuasion for me, please. Against Grog's persuasion. Yeah, that's not happening. So you sort of see like OP's point. You get it. You're not happy about it, but you get it.
Grog. Grog. I'll follow. Grog.
Okay. So if you guys,
Do I retrieve my weapons though?
Yeah. You can pull those straight out the ground. Yeah.
Can I, as everyone gets out, can I do create bonfire on the tent and just let it go into flame as they get close?
Yes, you can do that. They erupt into the room and pause briefly as they suddenly erupt and pause briefly if they see this fire. You guys are tearing down this tunnel. It is dark. You can see it's not dark like it was before. The Chronicle, you will find it slightly more difficult to see than other people because you haven't got night vision or anything like that. But you are running and you notice the air is getting colder and colder as you are effectively going down in a sheer drop. Can you all make a dexterity check, please? As this sheer face of rock goes down. Okay.
So if I'm leaving Rage, it's kind of why he wanted to stick around. I now have disadvantage on saving throws as well as abilities.
Okay.
So that's a 6.
Okay. You and Raven aren't ready for like this sheer drop that comes out of nowhere. Who's run first? I think Chronicle, you at the back,
Raven.
weren't you? Because you had OP, where were you?
I'd probably be like sort of heading out. I'm probably the fastest one here, so.
Okay, so Vidar is keeping up with you. Now Raven and Grog slip. And it's now effective because it's wet and it's shit, and it effectively acts as a slide, and you collide with each other. And the Chronicle will see you all disappear down this tunnel.
Well, it's go down or be mauled to death.
Going down, and kind of just like position himself and just starts sliding, like a controlled slide.
So I was sort of at the front of the I got caught in the slide too.
Yeah, you got caught in the slide.
Okay, so the goofy laugh that
Yeah. Yes, I do. Okay. Chronicle, can you make a dexterity? No, in fact, athletics check for me to see how controlled this slide is. How controlled you managed to keep it. Okay,
Where'd
yeah,
these
that's
rolls?
pretty good. You guys, so the Chronicle comes down the tunnel, and the rest of you have sort of crashed into this other very small room, and there's just a huge pool at the center. And thank you for the other bad thing that happens. There is a huge pool. You hear thunder and crashing through this walls. It's like you can hear the sea through the walls.
The thunder cliffs, huh? So are we
Vidar
swimming
is
right now,
looking
or, like-
backwards and forwards to all the shadows coming down the hallway. And he's like, okay, we swim for it. Down there.
Swim where? Oh. Okay.
It's coming in from somewhere, so it's got to go out, right? I can hear the cliffs. If we can hold our breath long enough, we might be able to get out.
oh man, it sucks that I just developed tuberculosis then, huh?
Okay. All right. Let's
As you are debating, two of these
Grog!
creatures come running around the corner.
Grog!
Can you roll initiative? In fact, we'll keep the old initiative if we do that. So it is. What is OP doing first? Are you diving straight in, or are you fighting?
I would probably dive in because if we see a couple of these guys, there's only going to be like a couple hundred more behind them. So,
Okay, you dive in. Raven, what are you doing?
let's do it.
Are you fighting or
diving.
diving?
Going diving.
You're gonna dive in. Okay, and the Chronicle. Oh, sorry, no, it is Grog's turn.
Grog.
these two things come running in at you, snarling.
I'm gonna enrage again. Grog!
That is definitely a hit. And you kill one of them outright. How do you kill it?
Grog! Nonchalantly as I cleave my sword into the second.
Yeah, and kill again. Another one comes.
I like to think I do like a whirlwind thing, like I do one with the axe and then turn and do the other one with the sword, like whirlwind
Yeah, so you
style.
effectively
Like,
cut down through these bodies as they fall, and there is anyone who's not jumped in the pool yet, like Vidar and you are just sprayed with the blood that is coming
He just
across.
like gets on the side of his face and he's just like,
Oh.
And what is the Chronicle doing?
I have a stupid idea, and it would require me
Love
to
stupid
go
ideas.
last in initiative. So
Um,
everyone else gets out, kind of thing.
You got to convince Grog to leave. Bear that in mind.
Grog. Now, I know you're angry, but listen. We're in a cave. These caves are not always sturdy. If we can get everyone into the water and I can float at the top for a second, I will cast as much magic as I can towards the roof. And so as these beasts come in, the roof comes down on them and splats them.
Grog! Grog!
I'll roll persuasion just to try.
Okay, persuasion versus persuasion.
Can
Oh,
I
20.
can I try to intimidate instead of persuade to combat
If you
this?
want to, yeah, beat a
And
20.
could I use my strength instead of my charisma, as the PHB sometimes
give it.
recommends?
I will. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Fantastic. So I'll just roll athletics and call it
Intimidate.
All
Yep.
this gold
Yeah.
for me?
uh
Oh.
also, yeah, I
Mine.
get advantage, but it's still a loss.
Yeah, you
Grog!
fall short, so you are very hesitant.
Wild magic surge for Alice to give out to anyone. The result is not my fault, says Israva.
Okay, I'm gonna just quickly roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1d4. Grog is 1, Raven is 2, Chronicle is 3, and OP is 4. So that is a 3. Can you please roll a wild magic surge?
I swear, is ever you're getting the biggest
The blame is River.
purge. You're getting the biggest purge you've ever had.
5215.
Biggest purge you've ever had in another chat that I have the ability to do that.
5215.
Fist boots again.
Boots.
The target desperately hopes to avoid his current destination. So I guess your current destination is away, so you want to stay.
Well, it depends, because were you going to
Oh, he was
destroy
gonna,
this and then swim? Or
yeah,
wait,
he's gonna try and swim away.
you don't want to swim away anymore.
Nope. Can I say that I still try to convince Grog to get out?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
nothing to do with the Wild Magic Surge, so.
Okay. And yeah, I'm just gonna hold third, and he's just gonna be standing next to this pool. So I don't know who's next. I think Vidar is.
It is Vidar. Vidar is just like, I'll meet you on the other side. And he dives straight in. He's taking off his armor and dropping his sword and everything to dive in this water. It is, so Opie dived in, Raven dived in, so it's Grog's turn again.
Grog's turn again. Well,
Yeah.
Grog's been convinced to leave, hasn't he?
Yes, I'm very hesitant about it, but yes.
So Grog's gonna try and communicate, which could be entertaining. He's gonna look at the Chronicle and be like, Grog! Grog!
Yes?
Yeah!
He has no idea. He's just agreeing.
So he agrees. Now, in Grog's mind, he was asking him if he was gonna fight. And so if he's gonna fight, he probably wants a hand. So as they come running in the tunnel, Grog's gonna throw the Chronicle towards them to aid him in his combat. Grog!
Okay, can you roll a strength, please, to throw the Chronicle?
Yes, I can, and I get advantage because of my
Yeah,
rage.
you got a nat 20 anyway. How do you throw him? Like, how specifically are you throwing the Chronicle? And how is the Chronicle feeling about this?
I'm going to throw him as fast as I can. Now, I think a catapult spell is 100 feet a second or something like that, so I'm going to throw him that fast if I can. 100 feet a minute or something like that.
Okay.
Well, the Chronicle is not wanting to go down, so technically this is going the opposite direction of where he wanted to go. So because it's Wildmeister, he's feeling quite confident in his abilities.
You're enjoying this moment.
Yep.
Okay. You fly and crash into 3 of these bear creatures. They come out straight out of the little mouth entrance. I'm going to call this an attack and an at 20. That you hit them like Skittles. Like they fall to the ground. And Chronicle, can you take 1d... Hang on. 1d6 damage as you hit these 3 people.
Got it. So, how many do I see behind these 3?
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
They are all packing into this.
I have one question. I'm going to bring the spell up for you.
Mm-hmm.
It is this spell. Can I use that on myself?
Touch me.
It gives me a Dragonborn's breath,
Yeah,
essentially.
I think you could, yeah.
Cool. I'm going to quick and spell that to make it a bonus action. I touch myself.
Mm.
So I have that, and then I'm going to use my action to cast Burning Hands at second level. So I need to add one. I need to add one more d6.
Is that a 15-foot cone? Okay.
Yeah. So a total of 19 damage, and I'm out of second level
Yeah,
spells.
you take out literally 15 foot of these things, and they all scream as some of them can't get away because the tunnel is backed up.
Yeah, and he's just standing there in this mouth, just looking at them, and his hands are still like a little bit of smoke coming off them, because I always pictured Burning Hands as like the little triangle. He's just looking at them.
And Grog, what are you doing?
Hopping in the pool. Grog!
Okay. So the Chronicle, you're the only person left.
What would I need to overcome in order to try and jump into this pool? Maybe would it be a wisdom save?
I guess a wisdom save. I'd say if you beat a
It'd probably be pretty difficult.
15 wisdom save, I reckon if you beat that, you can
Okay.
shake it off.
I will try that first.
Do you have
then.
any nat 20s or anything?
I have nothing,
You have
but
nothing.
I beat it on the
But
roll.
you got a 19. Okay. Basically, as you erupt this fire, it's like it snaps you back into what's actually happening in reality, and you suddenly realize your whole team is gone.
Well, I do not like dying like a martyr, so
Oh, one second. And then he just looks at because I'm assuming more of them are coming his way, and now he's going to use the action to Dragon's Breath. They need to
Okay.
make a Dex save at DC 13, and then
2.
so they take 10 points of fire, and he's just going to turn. He's just going to leap into the water.
Yeah.
As fast as he
absolutely
can.
fine. So you guys, you'll leap into the water. I need you all to make a Constitution save, and also a Perception. Please, to see Constitution is to see how well you hold your breath. So Opie, can you roll at disadvantage? Never mind. Okay, so Chronicles holding your breath. Right? Yeah. Oh God. Okay. So Opie, you are struggling to breathe, and with that, you don't look around properly, and you hit a rock, which sends you spinning. So you are thrown, and you take 1d4 damage as you crack your head on the side. This is like a chute, and you guys are all being dragged down here. The rest of you,
It's a 9 for me, not a 19.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I have disadvantage on everything, and I can only move at half speed now.
Well, Raven, definitely, you can feel the water creeping into your mouth as you try and hold on. Now can you all make an athletics check, please, to try and swim hard forward. You can see a light at the end, and you see Vidar just heading straight for it.
So many bad rolls.
Do I see Opie like struggling?
I think you would.
Can I assist him in like at least trying to get him going? All of my
You
athletics.
can get him going. On an 18 for sure. You sort of drag him and throw him, like as much as you can throw someone on the water, you push him along the tunnel. Raven is falling behind. Can you make another Constitution save for me, please, Raven? You nat 20 this. It's like you suddenly gain control of your lungs properly, and you swim forwards. You all feel this huge gush of water as it's like a current grabs you, and you feel like you are being thrown upwards, and you all shoot out of this what is like almost like a geyser type thing, up into the air, up into this fresh air out of the cave, and then realize you're up in the air and you all crash down. Can you all make like a dexterity save or an athletics, whichever's better for you, to see if you can land?
They both suck.
Okay, I'd say you all make it apart
9.
from the Chronicle. The Chronicle, you sort of facepalm this black rock along the shore. You take 1d4 damage for that for me, please.
That's another 9 for Grog.
Another 9. Yeah, I'd say it's still not too bad. You're quite a sturdy guy. And you guys realize you're on the shore, on like the cliff space, and you can see the village from here. It is getting dark. You see Vidar jump up, and he's like, and he is running. He's running back towards the village.
Chronicle's just laying there on this rock, just like.
So we're all out and drenched and weak. Raven's just gonna slowly be like, the dwarf, he's leaving. We should probably go after him.
Can I push over a tree into the pool?
There aren't really any trees around. There's maybe like a big boulder or something because you're on the beach. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say you do it. Like, there's a huge boulder that you can just push and roll into this pool, or this geyser type thing.
I'm gonna stand up, drenched, like cuts, bloody. Okay, guys, let's follow the dwarf. He's fun. Woo! Take off.
Are you guys heading back to the village?
If everyone else is moving at sort of like regular pace, Grog is really dragging his feet. He's only moving like 15 feet at a time, and then he has to sort of wait 6 seconds to take a breath. He's a big old tired guy.
Okay. As you do this, you are all gradually, there's no real rush, but you're all gradually getting back to the village itself. And you see Vidar run in, and he's beckoning to you as it starts to get dark. He's like, get in! And he starts closing the gate. Grog, come on! Be strong!
Grog.
Raven gets behind Grog and just kind of like slowly pushes him towards.
Grog.
Okay.
I will start humming the theme song to like Chariots of Fire.
You do that? And Grog, I'm guessing from exhaustion, you almost fall over the boundary of the village.
Yeah.
You are knackered.
He's gonna start sleeping.
Vidar sort of tries to help you, but then notice you are sort of asleep, like you're done. And Ava, one of the town's tavern waitress that you saw earlier, runs over with a huge flask of ale and is just trying to pour it into Grog's mouth. Vidar runs to the top of his watchtower, and there is a horn that is sat up there, and he blows into it.
I'm confused. Is she waterboarding me? What's going on?
She's not waterboard. She's trying to get you to drink it, but if you're not going to, she's not going to force
I was
you.
gonna say, like, what?
She after seeing that, she moves on to Opie, like trying to help. Like she's not bandaging you up, but she's got like moss and stuff she's trying to pat your head with where you're bleeding and things like that.
Why don't put plants in my blood? That's just weird.
Vidar himself, you see very weak up at the watchtower as he collapses. Again, he's holding himself up by the barrier and he blows on the horn again. And he yells, he's like, weapons, men. The fireworm is coming. And if you walk to the top, are you going up onto the barricade, if any of you?
Yeah.
You will see in the distance a huge forest. And there is a line of fire snaking its way down the hillside towards the farmland and towards the village. And he's like, see, fireworm. And then he holds the spyglass out to you. As you look out, you see thousands and thousands of these bear creatures all holding fire torches as they come down the hill, yelling as they do. And that is where we will leave this one shot.
Raven looks over at Opie Chronicle and she's like, I think I would have preferred a dragon.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Can this become a campaign now?
The incoming horde from the top of the barricade, I moon them.
You can do that. I've had that a couple with some of my one shots. They're like, so can we do a count? I think we're doing like take twos now of some of them.
Could this be a 2-shot? Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah, this was tons of
Adam,
fun.
you're muted.
I
can
see
hear
that
you,
I'm
but
muted.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
I just assumed he's just gonna sit there and go grog, 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 grog.
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 I could do the whole wrap up as grog. Like, okay, so grog. Grog.
And we are so close to our next viewer decision as well.
We are. We've got £14 until our next viewer decision. So let's go round. We went up the screen last time. This time, let's go down the screen. Guys, tell us who you are, where we can find you, what you get up to on the internet, and maybe your favourite part of the one shot. And we will start with Fly Bandito Charles.
Oh, hi, Fly Bandito, Charles, the Chronicle, old man whose voice is going to die even more as I go to a coded server after this. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, Alice. I really want a second shot at this. I want to burn the horde. Just burn the horde. And yeah, find me on the internet, Twitch at Fly Bandito, Twitter at Fly Bandito. I do behind the scenes stuff for like Madame Gandalf, Crit Dice Game. I'm all over the place. So just randomly you might see me. And favorite moment, besides being clipped saying that I touched myself, thank you for that. It definitely has to be getting used Dragon's Breath. That was a really fun spell.
I did like that. I also like that your boots got a lot bigger and you're like, what? I love wild magic surges.
I'm just like, cool, I have clown's feet, or clown's shoes on now. What am I gonna do? But yeah, that's it for me.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much. And next up, we have Stavino Lady, Jessica.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm at Stravina Lady on Twitter. I'm on Twitch, but I don't stream too much on Instagram and stuff. I do art a lot, so you can follow me for that. I do take commissions for like D&D characters if you want. And I have a podcast called Incoming Game, where we talk about Reboot, the 90s cartoon TV series. And that was so much fun. That was really a great time. I think my favorite part was definitely falling down the bridge and holding on for dear life as Grog rolled poorly on all of his saves. That was a good time. I felt the tension. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Grog really enjoyed we had like a little thing going on, Raven and Grog. Like you did become like Black Widow.
Just pick her up.
Yeah. Shh. And so next we have Hermley. Hermley.
Yeah, this was awesome. I am at Hermley on the Twitters. I do art commissions, fun stuff like that. I also play in a regular game, a Curse of Strahd game, Curse of Strahdtina, on the Dungeon Crawl Twitch channel. I play the happiest happiest elf ever to be, to the point of being creepy. And I think the highlight of the game was Opie being a great club. That's awesome.
And Hermione also did our poster for the Wizards and Wardrobes game that you guys might have seen. That's an example of Hermione's work right there. So thank you for your support, buddy. Alice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was good. This one, some people saying, you know, have you based it off this? This is when I studied archaeology, there was actually something similar to the sort of thing that happened in this. So I elaborated on that. And there is actually a film not based off that particular archaeological evidence, but similar. So I sort of changed it to fit and put some more creepy things in there and thought I'd try a bit more with that. But I really love playing with you guys. It was really, really awesome. The wild magic surges make my day. I felt really bad for the Chronicle, the fact that it just kept happening. The boots are one of my favorites. And also I love Grog somehow being stealthy and failing to get this like slap fight thing with this bear creature into the trench and then managing to just crush him and drag him in. I quite like that. So yeah. Also, I do Warhammer over on Encounter Roleplay on Wednesdays. Other than that, I'm over on this channel. If I'm not playing, I am DMing, and we've got an awesome what's it called, City of Mist campaign coming up, which will be really, really good. But yeah, thank you for all the donations today, because it, like I said, it's for a really good cause, and it means a lot to us to be able to do it for that. So yeah. Awesome.
Thank you all, guys. Like I say, we are £14 away from our next donation goal. You'll see that popping up in chat. We'll get on that soon. So I'm going to go and get the next stream ready. So guys, I'm going to end the call just shortly. Thank you so much for coming to play. You guys were all great, and yeah, let's talk and chat about this afterwards. I'll see you guys later on. Thank you so much.
Bye.
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 Okay guys, so we're going to take a short break again as we set up the next stream. We will see you shortly.